Okay. Okay. You're live, buddy.
Well, we are live with the Coach Scott Field Show. Had a little blurb today, and no surprise for the kind of day that I've had, I almost hate green right now, and I know that's a strong word. Anyway, Season 2, Segment 10. Welcome to the Coach Scott Field Show. Thanks for being patient with us as we got this thing up and running. Hey, we've got a great show. We got Corey Crowder, a former Utah Jazz and San Antonio Spur, coming on live. He's also the father of NBA star Jay Crowder, who's with those Greens, the Boston Celtics. We also have the Mills twins, Monique and Dominique, going to be on live with us here in our third segment. Got several shout-outs that I want to give today here for the happy St. Patrick's Day. But before we do that, don't forget that hashtag Coach Scott Field or Coach SF Show. Send in those hashtags, and don't forget to send in those selfies of you watching the show so you can be fan of the week. Had a great selfie sent in here a little bit ago from Christy there with the kids there in Colorado Springs. So really appreciate that. Great photo. Shout outs today, several of them. Down and Dirty CrossFit down there in Grantsville, Utah. Nice little shout out for you there. Also want to say to the Joy Foundation, it's the chalk art, and that is the Magic on Sidewalk. It's kidsfindjoy.org. Also, Carson Mortensen, Carson, little C, thinking of you, buddy. I know you're having a bunch of tests run today, and thoughts and prayers going your way that those tests come out real positive for you. Also want to give a shout out and a good luck to Kinsey Yoakum there in Indiana. She's about ready to go in for a procedure here at the end of the month, so we're thinking of you. Hope that medical procedure goes well. Happy birthday, Stacy Zeck, my sister there in Indiana. Tomorrow the 18th is your birthday. Making sure you have a great day. Shout out to Rod, and also hello to Connor, who's going to be coming out here to Utah to visit Uncle Scott here this next week. Dick Baker, he also fell on the ice and busted up his hip there a little bit last week. So Dick Baker, heal up, love you, get well soon. Joe Maggard, hello Joe, hope you're watching and enjoying the show tonight. Also Tommy, Brett, and Rob, a shout out from the T-Mobile people there in Riverton. Got to send out some love because I came in there today, had to get a loaner phone. Part of my Murphy's Law here on St. Patrick's Day, had little phone issues after we had a flat tire and a sore throat and an earache, and got a great phone call this afternoon. What? My phone just buzzed over here. I don't even know how to turn the thing off, so I apologize for that. But T-Mobile out there, hello to you guys, and thanks for the hookup. We got T-Money on here live with us tonight. T-Money, welcome back. We missed you last week. A lot of things going on here. Well, I guess first of all, Bob, you had the poll question for us this week. We talked about your favorite rivalries. Bob, what was that result there for the rivalries this week, buddy?
Well, it was kind of interesting. We didn't have a ton of responses, but the ones we did, it was about 75% Lakers, Celtics.
Gotta love it.
You know, then we had Bulls, Pistons, Bulls, Jazz, Pacers. I mean,
Pacers versus Knicks?
Yeah, Pacers, Knicks. There was a lot of that, but the number one answer was Celtics and Lakers.
Celtics and Lakers. Nice job. Appreciate you. Hey, please take advantage of responding to those poll questions. We see a lot of people liking them and a lot of people sharing them. But go ahead and get involved so we can have those results to report over to you. Appreciate you picking up the slack there. Tracy was ill this last week, but T-Money got you on here live real quick. Hey, big news out here in the Salt Lake Valley. CEO Greg Miller steps down as the CEO of the Utah Jazz. Interesting things that are going on here. Do you hear much about that out in the Midwest?
Yeah, the family's kind of had this in plans for years, so that they don't have to have their hands on day to day. So it's really a quality of life thing.
Okay.
They are going to turn that over to a board of directors and run it more like a corporation rather than single ownership with hands on every day. And you just have to believe that's a quality of life thing.
There you go. Well, the Miller family.
Life's too short. Larry went too quick.
Yeah. Oh, listen. What the Miller family has done here in this Salt Lake Valley is, amazing. And the fact that the Jazz are here and staying here are because of what the father Larry has done for years, and Greg now stepping down to turn over to the board of directors, like you say. The Jazz are starting to play well too. They've won several games in a row here. That young core, progressing and moving along. D Rose with Chicago. He's ahead of schedule for his rehab. What do you think about that? And do you think that's going to affect much of the positioning there in the East with the Chicago Bulls?
Well, I mean, we've seen this before. The guy seems to have glass knees, so it's kind of hard to trust that. I mean, the guy's been out a couple, 3 times this year, and come back, and maybe come back too soon, if you can say that about a Derrick Rose, because it took so long the first couple of times. But I think what you see in the NFL with all these guys hanging it up after 2 years, Jake Locker, a young man out in San Francisco, hanging it up at such a young age. I think D Rose not necessarily needs to hang it up, but he certainly doesn't need to rush himself back, because he's going to do more damage to his body in the short term and the long term and that doesn't help the Bulls anymore. I mean,
I agree.
They need to make sure he's 100% healthy this time, because certainly, he's become almost a running joke. Certainly with the advent of memes on the internet and people making fun of this or that happening before Derrick Rose comes back. So in essence, he really has never come back fully healthy, and fans will get tired of it.
Yeah, gotcha. Well, how about Dwight Howard? He's about ready to make his return. He's returning to practices now with the Houston Rockets. Do you see that affecting the West? Because, look at that number 8 seed. It's still wide open for grabs. I know it's close to your heart, Oklahoma City, and you got New Orleans. But how about Dwight Howard coming back, returning to practice now for the Rockets?
Is he still playing in the NBA?
No. Pow! There you go.
Drama Dwight.
Yeah.
I think that just, it just helps the jockeying and the confusion that are going to go between 3, 4, and 5 there. I think the real team that can make a push there would be Dallas, obviously. I really thought Oklahoma City would be better, but the injury bug keeps biting them left and right. KD's still not quite back, and now Serge is down. So what's amazing is what they've done without those two. But while Oklahoma City continues to languish down there at 8 and possibly the 7, but more than likely the 8, it's just going to be a jockeying match for the last stretch run here between Portland, Houston, and Dallas.
Right.
I think Dallas has the most to gain.
Yeah. Well, and now how about also Paul George with the Indiana Pacers? It seems like a lot of these teams are snake bit, and again, it proves that within an 82-game season, it's a marathon, not a sprint. How do you like the thought of Paul George coming back with that Indiana Pacer team? Because I know one of our sales guys out there in Indiana, Travis, is a huge Pacer fan. So do you have good news for Travis, and you think Paul George is going to help that squad?
Well, right now they're sitting at number 7. But then again, we're talking about the East. 30 and 36 gets you number 7 or 8, and that's where Indiana and Miami are locked up right now.
Yeah.
I think he helps them a little bit, but they're not going to do near what they did last year. However, the flip side of that, it's amazing how he and Kevin Ware can go through such traumatic and tragic injuries like that and be back within the same calendar year. Is just phenomenal.
Well, it just shows you how far, with rehab and with technology, with the doctoring. Years ago, think about it, an ACL tear was career-ending. Now they're back on the court, in less than 6 months, and that is phenomenal. Let's talk about which was more fun to watch. Which was more entertaining? Was it Westbrook's 49 or was it Kyrie Irving's 57 versus the Spurs? What was more impressive to you, T-Money? I'm sure, Westbrook going for 49 the other day was exciting because it just seems that he's got a fire lit within him since the All-Star break, and, Kyrie Irving 57 versus them Spurs. But then you look at it, Miami beats the Cleveland team just last night in an interesting win that, again, keeping their head above water in a playoff hunt.
Yeah, I give props to Kyrie for that game. But I've grown up watching solar eclipses year after year. It's fun to watch them, no matter how many times it happens. And that's the way Russell is. He is amazing to watch every time he steps on the court.
Yeah.
Kyrie's was a flash in the pan compared to what Russell's doing. Russell is on a freaking tear ever since the All-Star game. And if you look at the history, only he, Oscar Robertson, and Michael Jordan have been on such good runs with triple doubles.
Right.
And he's not quite in the history books yet. He hasn't even cracked the top 10 of players with most triple doubles in the season. But he's knocking on the door, and for him not to be considered in at least MVP conversation is it would be asinine for that not to happen.
Right. With that said, before this segment is over, got to send a special happy birthday shout out to your son Carter. Carter Graven is 13 years old now, so Carter out there in Ohio, happy birthday to you, buddy. Definitely want to send some love your way, and appreciate your dad bringing that to our attention. Sad news in the NBA world: Jack Haley, a former Bull, passed away today at a young age of only 51 years old. So thoughts and prayers go out to the NBA community and to the Haley family. He was always right there on that bench, cheering along. Great role player with those Bulls and those amazing runs that they had there. So to the Haley family, our condolences. Hey, Corey Crowder is up on our next segment. Tracy, T-Money, you had a great poll a few weeks ago that talked about the father-son combinations. Corey Crowder is going to come on here on our next segment and talk just about that. Continue to send those hashtags.
Corey and Jay were in that.
Exactly. That was a part of it. That's what I mean. It's fun that, here we are a few weeks later. Henry Bibby was going to be a scheduled guest. Couldn't work out for him. But, hey, we still got a father-son combination on there. Excited to have former San Antonio Spur and Utah Jazz guy Corey Crowder on the Coach Scott Field Show. I'm sure he's going to talk a little bit about what it's like being a father, watching your son, Jay, play for those Celtics out there. So, T-Money, appreciate you being on the show tonight. I hope you have a great week, and thanks for, again, having your finger on the pulse for us out there. So let's get ready for Corey Crowder to come on and do what he does. But, again, happy birthday to Carter out there.
All right, let's go Big Blue.
Oh, okay, there you go. I like it. Hey, Bob.
Yes.
We need some therapy. I'm sorry. It's just been one of those stressful days. Let's have a little bit of fun on the Coach Scott Field Show before we go to break. Segue it into some comedy for us out there today.
All right. Hey, well, today is St. Patrick's Day.
Yes, it is.
And traditional meal St. Patrick's Day is corned beef and cabbage,
yes,
right?
It is.
But we wanted to mix it up, and we're going to have some pork and beans.
Let's do it.
Pork and beans, baby. Here we go.
Hey, it's the Coach Scott Field Show dinner for St. Patrick's Day. Bring on them beans, Bob. Cue the video, buddy. I hope they find this as entertaining as we do. By Brave Haven Media, media with a pulse. Don't forget to call Kim Field at Salon Dante in Sandy, Utah, 801-572-8812. We'd also like to thank the NFL Store and the NBA Store, affiliate sponsors of the Coach Scott Field Show. Check out Brave Haven Studios here in beautiful Salt Lake City. Beautiful day today, guys. I hope they enjoyed the the entertainment there that we had there at the end of our first segment. Just had to have some comedy. It's therapy, right?
Nothing better than pork and beans. Pork and beans.
Got to do hashtag pork and beans, baby. All right, hey, let's give a couple scores here before we get Corey Crowder here live on the show. I'm showing Memphis is down to Detroit right now, 101-92. The Spurs and the Knicks. How about the New York Knicks? 94, Spurs 96. Two close games going there. Orlando 78, Houston 77, and then we're looking at Milwaukee 64, New Orleans 71. Charlotte and the LA Clippers will get going here a little bit later. Again, use that hashtag CoachSFShow for live tweets. Maybe send in a few questions. Maybe you like a comment or some nuggets that you've heard. Share those with us. Also, continue to send in those selfies of you watching the Coach Scott Field Show because we will be honoring a fan of the week. So send those in to us. It is a great pleasure to have a father-son combo come on the Coach Scott Field Show. A gentleman that I've been in contact with for a few years now, a former NBA player. I'm going to let Corey Crowder introduce himself, tell you about his journey, talk about being a father to an NBA player. Mr. Corey Crowder, how are you doing tonight, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing fantastic. How's everybody doing?
Everybody's well. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you. I hope you've had a little bit better day than we've had out here. We've had some bad luck, but hey, you know what? We roll with the punches, buddy.
Well, down here in Florida, we don't get to deal with all that. We get about 85, 95 degrees every day, so we're good.
Way to add salt to the wound, brother. I appreciate that. Thank you. Corey, how you doing? So you're down in Florida. Where are you at right now tonight?
I'm in Fort Myers. I live in Fort Myers, Florida.
There you go. Well, like you say, 85 degrees. I'm jealous of you like crazy. Hey, let's educate our viewers. I mean, we've got a strong national and international viewership, Corey. Let's talk a little bit about your personal basketball journey. Take us from high school to your college. Talk about from college, the transition to the pros, and let's educate the viewers on who you are, where you come from, and we'll kind of dive into that for a while. So, Corey, the show is yours, my man.
Well, I grew up in Carrollton, Georgia. Came from a family of six, 5 other siblings. I was the baby. I had a chance to play basketball, play football because Georgia's a football state. Played a lot of football. Then I started growing. I gave up football and started concentrating on basketball. And I got good enough to get an offer to play basketball Division II in Kentucky, Owensboro, Kentucky Wesleyan College. Yeah. And I ended up blossoming there, winning the Division II National Player of the Year. My senior year, we won a national championship. My junior year, 3 times All-American. I got my jersey retired, and I was lucky enough to get a tryout with the Utah Jazz, and I made the team as a free agent. Stayed there a year, played very well in the Salt Lake Summer League, and ended up leaving Utah and going to Italy on a contract. Simply because I wanted to play. It wasn't about the money. The Jazz had offered me a deal to stay there for 3 years, and I turned that down to go to Italy, to a country that I didn't speak the language. I didn't know what kind of food they ate. Never been outside of the United States. I ended up going there, and as I speak to kids today, I tell them that that was God's will. It wasn't my will for me to make that decision because He gave me the gift to be in the NBA. And I wasn't living the life that He wanted me to live. And so, He sent me over there and made me earn every dime I got from basketball from that point on. But I met my wife over there. We have 3 healthy little girls now. I ended up staying in Europe for 12 years. I played in France, Spain, Italy, and Israel. And I retired about 9 years ago. And here I am.
There you go. Well, great journey. As you know, you and I have got passports full of ink, so they kind of look like Wiz Khalifa, and I've used that analogy several times. But again, we've been blessed to have traveled the globe doing what we do. You as a player, myself as a coach, and matter of fact, the twins who are coming on our last segment, their father also played international ball. So there's a lot of similarities and stories to share. But Corey, great job, taking us through the timetable of your basketball career. what were some of the main influences for you, playing at a Division II school, coming in undrafted, here with the Utah Jazz? What was your motivation? Who were the people here with the Jazz organization who were kind of mentors to you, who you looked up to, and some of the things that you learned from those mentors?
Well, the thing about me, coming from a small school, all I wanted was an opportunity. I never dreamed that I would play in the NBA. It was a total culture shock for me coming from a smaller school. But once I got in that environment and I got into the summer league that first year, it kind of clicked that, hey, I think you can play with these guys. And there was this one thing that I just kept telling myself is no matter what school they came from, if they can put their pants on just like I do, I can get out here and I can compete. Jerry was a very big influence on me. Actually, some of the things that Jerry Sloan taught me kind of carried me throughout my total career, and those are some of the things that I pass on to my son now, who we'll talk about in a little while. Yeah. It's just always compete, never give up. You got to be tough as nails, and Jerry was tough as nails when he played, and he was tough as nails when he coached. I learned a tremendous amount from John Stockton on how to be a consummate professional. And I carry that even in my work life now, just the way he approached every single day. I still talk maybe 2 times a month with Mike Brown. We're still very good friends. I still keep up with Blue Edward. We're very good friends. One of the things that helped me with the Jazz that first year were we had 3 other rookies. And that was David Benoit, Eric Murdoch, and Isaac Austin. So I came into a situation where these guys were as green as I was. So we were able to form a bond. And that's kind of how I was able to get through that first year, because I had those other 3 guys that were there with me.
Yeah, great stuff. And I love the fact that you to maintain, to have those relationships. And it's interesting that the people and the fraternity that we have within the basketball, the people that we meet, the people that we get to come in contact with. I mean, just like you and I, it was the bond and love of the game of basketball that brought us in contact with each other. And I've been really excited to have you on the show. You and I even spoke about you being a guest on the show, last year, and here we are, get right in, through season 2, and it's great to have you come on and share, this insight. I know a couple of viewers who are sitting right here with us in the studio are able to, be educated and empowered by your journey. But talk about some of those influences while you were in Italy. What was it like for you, being submerged into a culture where you don't know the language, you don't know the currency, you have to learn, new styles of government. You probably had European coaches who were very Middle Eastern bloc, which was probably very military style. But talk about some of those things, some of those transitions, the things that you had to get used to. Maybe you needed an interpreter, between yourself to communicate with the head coach. And talk about some of those things that you have to, educate yourself on as you make those transitions.
Well, you have to, number one, the one thing that I learned to do very well was once I stepped foot on that plane in the United States, I kind of left the United States here, because there's no way you can go over there and still try to live like you're an American. So I kind of adopted that early, where I wanted to eat like the people who, I wanted to eat like they ate. I bought me a Italian or Spanish or French language dictionary, where I just learned just basic words, hello, goodbye, certain names of food. I think for the whole time I was over there, if I had to cook, I think I had chicken wings, a can of green beans, and a can of corn every single night, because it was quick, it was good, it was nutritious, and that was something that I did. Yeah. One thing you learned over there is if you win, the Italians or the Spanish or the French will get the credit. If you lose, then everything comes down on you. You lost because of you. I don't care if you had 40 points; they're still going to blame you for the loss. And that was something it took a lot of getting used to. One of the things that I speak to people about, which is sort of a racial thing, but it kind of enlightened me a little bit. Being from Georgia, the racial barriers are still there today. The black and white. You live on this side of town, you live on that side of town. In Europe, they didn't care what color I was. They hated me because I was an American. They didn't care that I was black. They just hated me because I was an American.
Sure.
So that really helped me a lot as far as being able to get along over there. It really opened my eyes to more things that are going on internationally instead of just what's going on here in the United States. To this day, I still try to keep up with what's going on in Europe, not just here in my backyard.
Right. Good for you. I mean, and I think there's some great nuggets there that you shared. They're not going to change to you. We always have to adapt to them. And I like the fact how you immersed yourself within that culture. I mean, you talked about, eating the foods, and probably some of the friends and the relationships that you have there are probably strong relationships still, correct?
Absolutely.
Good.
Absolutely.
Nice. Well, now, what types of plans, as a player, what were you thinking of post-career? Because, you and I, we've had conversations about this in the past and shared some emails. I think it's important for players to have some sort of idea what they want to do post-career. I know, a lot of coaches, our players want to turn into being coaches or being involved in the game, being mentors. But what types of was plans for you, and what were your aspirations, going into transitioning after basketball?
Well, for me, I'm no different than anybody else when it came to me being in the fire as a professional athlete. I had no clue about what I was going to do. I know I had my degree in criminal justice, but I didn't want to be a police officer or FBI secret. So I didn't want to do any of that. But I ended up getting a real estate license. I came back to Florida, got my insurance license. What I try to tell people now, because I do some consulting with the NBA where they hire me to go and consult and speak to the teams and try to help these kids understand. If I had to give them some advice, I would say come up with a game plan. It's the same thing as if you're planning to go against an opponent. It's no different. You got to come up with a game plan. You got to figure out where you're going to live, what you can do, what you're qualified to do. But probably one of the most important things that these kids don't understand is that you cannot make this transition by yourself. You're going to need a team. You're going to need a network. And the problem with kids today is that they don't know how, because of the cell phone and the texting and Instagram and Facebook, they don't know how to communicate, so they don't know how to go out and make a network. I mean, if you're in a room of 10 people and you make the most money out of everybody in the room, then you're in trouble. If you don't have people that's got more money than you, more experience than you, then there's no way that you're going to be successful in your transition. The one thing happened to me, Coach, was I had this moment of I was trying to be successful. I was trying to do everything, but then I had an aha moment where I figured that everything I've ever did in my life, I was part of a team. And when I understood that I couldn't be successful the way I wanted to by myself, I set out to recruit people to formulate my own team. And today I have a very strong team of people that are a lot smarter than I am, people that have a lot more money, and the people that have a lot more connections than I do. So my advice would be is to start networking, try to figure out what you want to do, what you can do, meaning what kind of experience that you have. Because if you write a resume and the only thing you have on that resume is that I've played basketball for 14 years, you're not getting a job, and you're definitely not getting a job making a significant amount of money.
Right.
So that's kind of what I try to tell the kids. You got to come up with a game plan.
Nice. Well, Corey, great stuff right there. That insight, that wisdom, the experience, talking about networking, quality stuff being shared right here on the Coach Scott Field Show. We're going to take a break for 2 minutes. Corey, we're going to keep you on the line. We're going to come back in these 2 minutes. We're going to continue our segment, and great job so far. This is some great stuff for our viewers.
The Coach Scott Field Show brought to you by Brave Haven Media, media with a pulse. Don't forget to call Kim Fields at Salon Dante in Sandy, Utah, 801-572-8812. We'd also like to thank the NFL Store and the NBA Store, affiliate sponsors of the Coach Scott Fields Show. Check out all of our affiliate sponsors at www.coachscottfields.com. Be sure to make your appointment with 9th Avenue Dental. Dr. Chris Tarbert will put a smile on your face. And now, back to the Coach Scott Fields Show.
Hey, we are back live with Corey Crowder hanging out with us from Florida tonight, former Utah Jazz and international professional who consequently has a son who's also played in the NBA. Hey, Saul, I know you're active on social media. Love the post that you shared of you and Jay after the Miami Heat game when Boston played Miami. I also saw you there with another great friend of mine, Coach Keith Smart, who was a guest on our show last year.
Yeah, Smarty and I played in the CBA together over in West Palm Beach, so we go way back.
There you go. Nice. Good stuff. Hey, let's talk a little bit now, Corey. What was it harder for you? Were you more nervous as a player in preparation for a game, or is it more nerve-wracking for you as a father to sit in the stands and watch your son go through a game and prepare for a game? How did you make that transition, and was that easy for you? Were you one of those guys that was always up and encouraging, or was you kind of sitting back? And tell us what was your plan as a father to help guide your son through that process?
Well, when I played, I just got to be honest. The only time I probably was ever nervous, if I can say that I was ever nervous before a game, was I think the 10 seconds I played against Michael Jordan. That's probably the nervous I ever been. But I never really got nervous for a game. Now, as far as me supporting Jay, his first year in college in Marquette, I think I was probably at the most times that I was nervous. But that kind of, as you go on and you watch more and more games, that kind of wears off. So I was able to relax and enjoy the game, because what I try to do when I'm watching him is I'm trying to not really critique, but the same thing as a scout. I'm just trying to give him valuable feedback. Something that he may not see or he may not feel, or, because the game is moving so fast for him. If I can pick up one or two things that I can point out and say, hey, I saw you do this, and why don't you try that, that type of thing. So that's kind of what I tried to do with him.
Nice. I understand that, through the years that I played and then, also, did my coaching, I was probably more nervous and anxious watching my son play. Of course, he's on scholarship right now down at USU Eastern and doing a nice job as a freshman, but he's had a lot of fun with it. And as a father, it's very nerve-wracking to sit there and watch him, because, we want them to do so well. But just like you, I would sit back there and I would try to see the game from another perspective to give him another idea of how to look at the game. He's very savvy. And, you talk about Jay and, him finishing his career there at Marquette. He did an outstanding job with an undersized team that had a lot of success. What type of advice did you have for him, since you've been through that process yourself as a player, to help him prepare, for the league or a professional career?
Well, I'll tell you just a little quick story. The first time because Jay played mostly football. He was a little overweight coming out of high school, and he made a phone call to me. I think I was on my last year playing, and he asked me to help him lose weight. We changed his diet. He shot up about 4 inches to 6'6". He got in the weight room. So I didn't get to see him play his first year of college. And then he came down to Florida. He was with me one summer, and we went to the recreation center to shoot ball, and nobody chose me because I'm an old guy and I didn't know how to play. So, but that gave me a chance to step back and see him for the first time.
Yeah.
And this guy made a really hard foul on him, And, he got back in there. The guy fouled him hard again, and he told the guy, you're going to have to keep doing that all day. And when I saw that, I knew that he had the heart to be a fighter.
Yeah.
I can teach skill. I can teach you how to shoot. I can teach you how to jump and run, but I can't teach you how to be a fighter. And once I knew that he had the heart to be a fighter, I knew that he could play at the next level. NBA, no. I mean, come on. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that he had a clear path. He didn't. But I knew he could play in Europe because I had been there. And I know that those type of people that can function there. As far as the NBA goes, I saw his progression at Marquette, and he got better, and he got more confidence. He got better and better. And one day we had a talk, and I asked him, I said, if I gave you a blank canvas and a paintbrush, what would you do? What do you want to do with your life? And he said, I want to make money playing basketball. And I said, I'll make you a promise. I'll make you a deal, excuse me. I said, I'll make you a deal. If you listen to me, I'll get you there. Now, I'm not going to go in the gym and rebound the ball and do all that stuff. My philosophy is if you spend enough time in the gym, you'll figure out what you can and can't do. The only difference between a professional athlete and an amateur athlete is that I spent thousands of hours in the gym where an amateur hadn't even approached that many times. I mean, I can go in the gym now. You give me 5 shots. After that 5th shot, I should have found my rhythm. And that's because I know what I'm doing. I'm a professional at what I do. And that's the only difference. And so once he made it and he got drafted, and I said, hey, do you remember that talk, that deal we had? And he said, yeah. And I said, now do you believe me? And he said, really, Dad, I thought you were full of crap. And so that goes to show you what our kids think of us when we're trying to steer them in the right way. But the other advice I can give to parents, I had this talk. I gave a speech to some kids at a baseball, what do you call it, when they end up the year, when they give out the banquet.
Yeah.
And I try to tell the parents, you cannot be hard on your kids and say, oh, if you would have did this, we would have won. Or if you would have hit the ball further, we would have won. You have to let the coach be the coach when it comes to sport. As parents, the only thing you should ever say to your kids when they walk off that field or court or whatever is, I love you, put your arms around them and tell them good job. If you say anything else about basketball, you're hurting the kid. You're not helping them. And I figured that out with him. Even today, we don't really talk basketball. I'll get in and give him whatever I need to tell him, and then I get out. And then we talk about us as a family.
Yeah.
But I try not to talk so much about basketball because that's what they pay Brad Stevens up in Boston to be his coach.
There you go. You know what? I love that philosophy, and I think there's a lot of parents out there who have children that are involved in different sports at different levels, and it doesn't matter what gender, but I like how you also talked about the mental game when you knew he had the heart, you knew he had a future, because I really do believe that a lot of the game is very mental. The higher level that you go, yeah, you're going to have assets, you're going to have a go-to move, or you may have a counter move, but that mental approach and your mentality will set you apart, especially, with dealing with adversity and all the life lessons. But there's so many positive things that you can learn from the game, that translate into life. And I love the fact that, you're giving back, you're mentoring. It sounds to me like, the NBA has done a great job asking you for advice, for mentorship, and, kudos to you. And I want you to continue that great work, because we can't get enough great people who care about the game and want to help people and lead and guide and direct the right way. So continue that great work, my friend.
I will. Thank you.
Good. So talk now. Okay, so, Jay, graduates in Marquette. He has an opportunity to come in. It had to be a joyous day. Where were you at when you got the call when they say, hey, Jay has just signed, a contract, or he's just been brought into the Dallas Mavericks? What type of feeling was that like? I mean, put the viewers in your shoes. What emotions were felt at that time?
Well, it wasn't good. We were in Miami. We were at a bar, a restaurant. The name is Red's. We had a draft party, and we get to number 28, then number 29, then number 31, and you're still sitting there, and his name's not called, and you're sweating, and you're going, "What's going on?" He's over there sweating bullets, thinking it's not going to happen, and then number 34 pops up, and they call his name. Okay, then you're happy. But at that point, it's just the beginning. A second round draft pick drafted 34th doesn't guarantee you nothing.
That's right. That's exactly
You
right.
still got work to do to get in there and prove to them during the summer league that you belong, and so they can offer you a contract. So you got some ups and downs there, but going through the process and knowing what's going on. The only thing I said to him once he got drafted, okay, it's time to go to work. It's not playtime anymore.
Right.
Now it's time for you to earn. This is your living. This is your job.
Right.
You got to eat it. You got to live it. You got to sleep it. Everything you do now is you got to take care of your body. You got to get your rest. You can't be drinking. You can't be partying. You can't be smoking. Whatever it is that kids do nowadays.
Yeah.
This is your job now. And the one thing that I tell him often is that if you go out and you bring energy and you do all the little dirty work, all the things that other guys don't want to do, there's not one team in the NBA that cannot use that type of player. And if you look at their games now, you'll see him guarding the 5 position. He guarded one of your guys from Utah, the Al Jefferson. He guarded Jefferson one night at Charlotte.
Yeah.
He guards the point guard if he has to.
Wow.
So he's the type of guy that what we call the glue guy. He's the guy you can stick in on any team, and he's going to make the team better. Is he going to score a lot of points every night? No. Does he need to? He doesn't need to. Is he going to guard the LeBrons, the Camilos, the Kobe's? He'll guard them all the way to the bathroom and back.
Yeah.
So that's because he takes pride in what he's doing,
Right.
and he's not afraid to go in there and battle with those guys.
Right.
And I think he can have a decent career, but he has to keep his feet on the ground. He's got to be humbled. He's got to understand that this is a part-time career. It does not last forever. If you don't take care of your money, at some point you're going to have to get out and get a real job, and it's not playtime anymore. So I just try to keep him grounded. I try to be real. I don't beat around the bush and tell him fairy tales how things are supposed to be.
Yeah.
But then again, I don't push because I understand that if he doesn't want that from me. Yeah. So he's a grown man now. Sure. He's got to learn on his own.
Great. You know what? Great insight, quality content. I just want to go back to one statement before I let the girls ask you a question. So I'll have the girls come over here to the mic as I'm making this comment. I like the fact where you talked about, they have to play hard. It's amazing to me as a coach because it seems like our generation, everybody went hard. And it's amazing that I hear coaches make the comment now that playing hard is a skill set. It's amazing to me that that's not a given. It's like, okay, we've got an energy guy who will play hard, and now that's considered a skill set, and that's what you try to bring into the team. So kudos to Jay on what he's doing. We wish him the best of luck. Congratulations to your family. Girls, I'm going to have you walk over to the microphone real quick. I know they've been listening to the content that you've been sharing. So I'm going to have her introduce herself. These two gals are outstanding athletes getting ready to transition into college, and so I'm going to let them introduce themselves and then ask you a question, Corey.
Okay, can you hear me?
Okay.
Oh my God, it's really loud. Hey, my name's Monique Mills, and my question is, do you miss playing basketball?
To be honest with you, if you had a straight pen and you stuck me in my eyeball, I'd have more fun than me going to play basketball. I absolutely cannot. My thing that drives me now, Monique, right?
Yeah.
The thing that drives me now that gives me my competitive juices is golf, and that's one of the reasons I moved to Florida. If I can play golf every day, I would. But here's the thing it's crazy. Sometimes I have to go to the gym to pick up my daughters for after-school program. And if I had to plan to go play basketball, I would never get there, right? But as soon as I step in the gym and I get that sweaty, musty smell, and I can hear the shoes squeaking, and everything starts coming back, and I'll pick up a ball, and before you know it, I've worked up a sweat. So if I happen to just come into a gym, it's okay. But as far as me playing, my body is broken. I'm 45 years old. It's got a lot of wear and tear, so I don't get any enjoyment out of playing. I really don't get any enjoyment out of watching, except when he's playing, and I'm only watching so I can give him some pointers to be better.
Wow, great. Hey, nice job. Bob, that was a pretty good question
That
right
was
there.
great,
I'm
Coach.
about to lose my job over here. I know it's not going to be the Scott Field show anymore. It's about to be Monique, huh? Oh, my goodness. Dominique, you got a question for him? Oh, she's nervous, Corey. I mean, you can't see this because she's behind the camera. She's back there going, no. She's too.
Come on, Dominique. Don't be nervous.
Dominique, get up there and ask a question.
Okay.
What you got? Introduce yourself and ask the question.
I'm Dominique, and my question is, what's the most negative thing you heard from somebody?
Ooh.
The most negative thing I've heard from somebody is they told me that I could not play in the NBA, that I was not good enough. I wasn't skilled enough to play in the NBA. And that drove me, and it drove me into the day I retired, that I was going to prove that person wrong. And every day that I'd go run up the hill or lift weights and I'd go out and play, I always repeat it to myself, and I'd see that guy saying that, and I'd always it'd make me so mad. I mean, I'd get fighting mad, and that's when I stepped between those fight lines, I was two different people, and I think you guys can identify with this. If not, you will. But I'm the nicest person outside of that white line. As soon as I stepped across that white line, for me, it meant war, and it was going to be either you or it was going to be me. And I knew that I prepared well enough that if I got in between those white lines with somebody else, that I was going to win that game. It wasn't even an afterthought that I was going to lose. And so that was the most negative thing I ever heard somebody say to me, was I wasn't good enough to be in the NBA. So it drove me every day until I retired that I was going to prove that person wrong. So the moral of that story is, do not ever let anybody tell you what you can and cannot do. Simply because if you work hard enough, you can have all the successes in this world. And that's the only difference between the people that have it and the people that don't. It's because you got to have that drive, and you got to be able to block out all the negativity and believe in yourself.
Corey, great stuff, my man. Enjoyed the insight. Thank you much for your time tonight. I know you're a couple hours in front of us out there in Florida. Really appreciate it. Great job by the girls coming up with those questions. Hey, again, use that hashtag, CoachSFShow. Continue to send in those live tweets. Send in those selfies of you watching the Coach Scott Field Show. Corey, God bless you. Let's stay in touch, and thank you once again for making this show even that much better.
Hey, Coach, thank you very much. Girls, good luck to you. I wish you all the luck in the world. You work hard, set yourself some goals, and do everything you can to reach those goals. Don't let anything get in your way, and it always starts in the classroom first. Coach, good luck to you, buddy. Love you, man, and to all your listeners out there, Scott's a great person. Please continue to tune in to his show. He's doing a great job.
Corey, I appreciate that. I definitely got to send you a check. God bless you.
Thank you, guys. Have
God
a good
bless
night.
you. Be good, and we'll be in touch. Let's go to a quick 2-minute break, and I'm excited to have the twins, Juan Diego, in the house next on the Coach Scott Field Show.
The Coach Scott Field Show, brought to you by Brave Haven Media, media with a pulse. Don't forget to call Kim Fields at Salon Dante in Sandy, Utah, 801-572-8812. We'd also like to thank the NFL Store and the NBA Store, affiliate sponsors of the Coach Scott Fields Show. Check out all of our affiliate sponsors at www.coachscottfields.com. Be sure to make your appointment with 9th Avenue Dental. Dr. Chris Tarbuck will put a smile on your face. And now, back to the Coach Scott Fields Show.
Hey, we are live with the Coach Scott Fields Show here from Brave Haven Studios. We are honored and blessed to have the twins here with us tonight on the show. Matter of fact, they just had an appearance on KSL not long ago where they were named co-MVPs for the state this year. Outstanding. Hey, what a great segment. You guys came on, asked a couple questions to Corey Crowder, a former NBA player. But I want to preface this whole interview by saying I had the honor and privilege of knowing your father and coaching your father several years ago. Now, way back when I had a lot more hair on my head, and trust me, your father was an unbelievable athlete. We went into, we had a free agent team out in Los Angeles, and we went up and we whipped on the Sacramento Kings. I think we beat the Houston Rockets. The LA Lakers were undefeated. We had to put that spank on them. And I'm going to tell you something. Your dad had bounce back in the day. He back here going on the 7-footer, bam! So the acorn did not fall far from the tree because you ladies have done a great job doing what he used to do. Huh?
Yeah.
You didn't know that about Dad, did you? You just thought he was Dad. Oh, come on, you got to go hard. Y'all didn't know he had game like that, did you? I'm telling you right now, Silas could ball. Huh? I'm just telling you. Okay, anyway. Hey, Silas Mills and Mom are here in the house with the twins. I want you to introduce yourselves. Tell the viewers who you are, some of the other honors that you've had. So, it's your show.
I'm Monique Mills, and it's Dominique Mills.
She can't talk for herself?
Yeah,
Are you kidding me? Go ahead.
She never really does talk.
That's got to be a twin thing, huh? Go ahead.
Anywho, what are we? 3-year running region champs at Juan Diego. First team All-State 4 years, I think now.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Okay, so what kind of stats did you have individually? I mean, I know it's a team sport, but what kind of stats did you have? You know, like your junior year, your senior year. Can you remember some of those numbers, or was it just about winning for you?
I think I can remember some. I just know that I broke the 1,000 point. That was last year. So now this year, I think I scored 1,749 points.
Dang, ballers in the house, Bob. Ballers in the house. Are you kidding me? Yeah. Keep talking. I want to hear some more.
I don't know. This took a while, but I averaged kind of 20 points a game. I don't know. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, rebounds, Dominique. She's the rebounder. You know, when I miss, she has to get my rebounds. So that's
nice,
all her.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, share the womb. It's your turn now. Introduce yourself. Talk about some of the honors that you've had, and because I know you guys shared some of the honors, but wow, what a career both of you have had. Go ahead, it's your show.
Dominique Mills, and I was first team All-State, and I set a new record for rebounds.
Wow. And what was that record? Do you know?
I think it was over 400.
Whoa.
Maybe we got to 700.
Wow.
400, 700, one of those. Yeah.
You were just cleaning the glass. You was getting it all, right? If she ever missed, you would get it, put it back, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes,
nice, nice. Well, now you've had a great career. Juan Diego is going to have a huge hold of field because you're not going to be replaced. But hopefully there's young gals out there who you are role models to. What advice would you give those young ladies out there who want to be the next Mills twins? What advice do you have for them?
I would just say to work hard, just to play every game like it was maybe your last or something.
Okay, and how about yourself? What would you say?
There's not going to be a next Mills twins, but you can work really hard and maybe get there. So maybe.
I like it. Nice, nice. So, here we are. You're at the end of your high school career. When do you guys graduate? When's graduation day? Big milestone for the family. Trust me, that's a big day for the Mills.
We graduate May 23rd.
Okay, congratulations. Yeah. And then now that the ball days are done for you in high school, what are your aspirations? What are you hoping to do now that the high school days are done?
Just to play in the next highest level.
Okay.
And to get farther than
okay.
we have right now.
Good. And how about yourself? Are you also wanting to play the next level?
No. Yeah, play together.
Play together. Yeah. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, there's been twins that have gone through college ball together and end up playing in the NBA together. WNBA. Maybe you guys will be the first twins to go NBA. Don't know. Maybe, huh?
Maybe.
Set your goals high. I like it. Have you already made a choice? Do you know where you're going to go, or has an announcement already been made, or are you still kind of just weighing out your options and trying to see what's going to be best for both of you? Or
yeah, we're still weighing out our options to see what's better.
Good.
But Slick has been contacting us a lot.
Nice.
That's the only
great program out there. Great program. Matter of fact, your dad is also coaching with the men's program out there, who's done a great job. They've had a great team, and it's great to see him come and give back to the boys and help them develop and mentor. I'm just so proud of the things that he's doing. So hopefully, Slick is going to be an option, so everybody around here in the Salt Lake Valley can continue to watch you guys grow and continue to do your thing. After Salt Lake Community College, do you want to stay local, or does it matter where you play, or?
We kind of want to go out of state because most of the local schools in Utah, the D1s, aren't really recruiting us right now. Okay. So we just.
They're sleeping. Coaches, you're going to get the ziggy if you're not picking up the phone, watching these girls doing your homework. They're in your backyard. You're messing up. I'm just saying, I'm keeping it real. They need to be fired if they're not watching you girls. You guys can bring a lot of things. You're a scorer. You're versatile. You're a rebounder. What coach does not want that in their program? I don't get it. Great people. You come from a great family. Scholastically, how are things going grade-wise for you?
We're good. We're on honor roll.
3.4 honor roll. Yeah. Honor roll students, good family, great people. You're not going to have a problem with you on the team, in the locker room, in the community. What more could a college coach want? I don't get it. I don't think people are doing enough homework on these guys. So you've kind of given some nuggets to future girls who are coming up through the ranks, talking about maybe playing outside the state, which we wish you the best because you guys are going to have outstanding futures, no doubt about it. Any kind words that you want to share with your family and thanking them for all the support they've given you, or any little special shout outs to mom and dad over there?
Yeah, shout out to my parents.
Okay.
They've been to every game.
Wow.
Yelling.
Telling
us what to do.
Nice,
still,
nice.
We still got it done.
Okay.
Oh, shout out to my granny too.
Nice. I like that. So, how about are there some fans out there watching tonight? I'm sure you've been kind of active on Twitter.
Shout out fans. Juan Diego. Maybe you guys are watching. Who knows?
You better be. Come on now. You better be. Any other shout outs?
Our coach.
Okay, Coach
Coach Arch.
Okay. Hopefully he's watching. Coach, great job with these young ladies. Obviously, you've had a major influence on them. What were some of the lessons? Let's go back, just backtrack a little bit. What types of things did Dad help you with on the floor as a father and as a coach?
He helped us to work through the negative comments we would hear.
Nice.
And just to work hard. Yeah.
Good. And how about yourself? What types of things did he help you with encouragement?
He helped us with working through different types of different situations.
Okay. So to understand special situations on the court and how to read it and stuff?
Yeah.
Outstanding, because what better person to learn from than someone who's gone through that himself and had a great professional career himself, right? Mm-hmm. And how about Mom? What did Mom do to help the most? Besides that great cooking, all the carbs and fuel you up.
She used her vocals.
She used her vocals? Is Mama a screamer?
Yes.
Is she?
Screamer.
Oh, so when everybody's screaming, the voice you hear first is Mama.
Yeah, I'm going to hear hers.
What kind of things would Mama yell down at you?
What are you looking at?
Oh, to the referees? Was she on
that free throw.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's okay.
No, but you know what? That is nothing but love and support, because they want nothing but the best for you. And again, I was in those same shoes watching my son play, and you sit there and you just want so bad for them because you know they want it so bad. So all that is love and support, and it's a great support system for you. What else? What after the playing days? Are you going to like be coaches, or do you want to be like scouts, or do you want to get into business? What are your plans after the ball days are done? Because I mean, you heard Corey Crowder talking about having to have a plan, or you know what you would like to do once the days are done for playing.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'd like to be a scout.
Ooh.
I think it's fun just to watch other people play.
Okay, so high school level, college level, professional level.
I probably have to start at the lowest level and then work my way up.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Good for you. Good. And how about yourself?
I don't know. I haven't decided yet.
Haven't decided yet?
Yeah.
Maybe you guys will be like scouts. You'll work together and be like, okay, you
Maybe,
watch the
yes.
defense, I'll watch the offense.
We'll have our own teams and then go against each other. I'll probably win. Yeah.
Competitive juices up in here. Okay, when you guys are playing one-on-one in the backyard, y'all getting after it, ain't you? You elbowing each other pretty hard. Who gets the best of those?
I think I win most of the time, though. But
Oh.
it's the same argument every time.
Oh.
I get nowhere with this. I win. It's okay. No, I win.
I bet it gets competitive. You guys have some fun, don't you? I'd love to be a fly on the wall to see some of that, huh? Yeah. Oh, I love it. Hey, any other things that you want to share? We got just a couple minutes here before the show's over, but I am thrilled that you ladies come on and was a part of our show. I really feel that, you know, if these college coaches aren't, you know, visiting your home, aren't blowing up your phone, they're making a huge mistake. I will be in touch with the athletic director saying, what is going on with your program? Why are you not with these Mills girls? Outstanding people. I know you're going to be successful, but any other last words or any nuggets you want to share with anybody out there?
I don't know. Shout out to the haters.
Oh, so that's motive. So when they tell you something negative, you're going to prove them wrong, huh?
Yeah, I am.
I'm telling you, they have all the ingredients for success right here. You're hearing it. Really appreciate you ladies coming on the show. You know, we have a lot of fun with this, and you know, this is our second set of twins that we've had this year, but y'all got some feistiness and some flair in you, and I like that as a coach. I want that competitive spirit out there, so continue to do what you do. Congratulations on all the success that you guys have had, you know, in your high school career. Excited for you for your graduation. I'm eager to see those final announcements when they come out. Make sure you let me know so I can send it out to Twitterverse and you know, help blow this thing up, because I'm proud of the things that you've done. You guys are outstanding young ladies, so I wish you all the best.
Thanks.
All right. Hey, we really appreciate these ladies being on, and thanks so much for Mom and Dad for coming into the studio for their continued support. I ought to have you guys walk around here and put yourself right back here, because if it's not for that foundation, they wouldn't be where they're at. So why don't you come on here as we say goodbye. And this is Coach Silas Mills, who I had the honor and pleasure of working with. Mama, come on out. Oh, is that where she gets it?
That's where she gets
Can you see Silas? You might have to come right here to the center and kind of bend down here a little bit. Silas, anything you would like to share with everybody here on the Coach Scott Field Show?
Just like you said, a lot of schools are missing out on two great players.
Yeah.
At home, in their own backyard.
Wow, and that's I don't get it.
And it's sad because
is it laziness? Is it
no? We
complacency?
had a couple people that came and visit them their freshman year.
Yeah.
And they just fell off.
Wow.
And you know, it's a sad thing. I feel bad for the girls because they worked themselves hard.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, they got their reward.
Yeah.
And they're gonna probably have a better college career.
I believe that. I believe that. Well, I appreciate you coming on. It's great to have him on the show. Nothing but love here on the Coach Scott Field Show. Hashtag family love, man. I love it. Hey, God bless you all. We will see you next Tuesday night when we're going to have another great, inspiring special guest on the show. But coaches, get on the phone. Get these girls in your institution, because they're going to be great role models, not only in the classroom, but also on the court and within that community. God bless you all. We'll see you next week on the Coach Scott Field Show right here from Brave Haven Studios. Good night.
Thanks, Scott.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Got it?